Glenn.
And I'm Serena, and we're here from Richer.
Today we're going to talk about the pandemic home buying effect and what is going on today in the real estate space. So Serena, what do you think is affecting the way that people are buying homes, and how now that COVID-19 is affecting the behaviours in which people access properties, the way that they are making offers on properties, what tools are they using, and how can it benefit people when buying homes?
So I guess a good place to start is to talk about the different tools that people are using more now than ever, because people don't want to physically go into properties if they don't need to. So there are more properties being sold sight unseen, and there are more properties that are getting offers put on them before a viewing, and then viewings taking place after an offer has been accepted.
Right.
There are more requirements for buyers to show pre-approval before going into a property. Sellers no longer want to let anybody into their house who's remotely interested in it. They want to make sure that the buyer has the funds or the finance available to buy it.
So if they have the finance available, what have you, they can just use an inspector to go do the inspections and do all of the heavy lifting.
Yes, so if a buyer just wants to get it under contract and doesn't want to go in themselves for a viewing, even if they could prove that they had financing or cash in the bank, then what we are finding is that sellers, that buyers just want to put in an offer, get it accepted, and then when the inspector is going in to do their inspection and say the first 10 days of it being under contract, then the buyer is going with and taking a view at that point. But buyers are less likely to be going to see 10, 15 different properties right now before putting in an offer. They're being a lot more strategic with what properties they're physically entering.
Right, and I guess now with interest rates going under 3%, it makes it even more enticing for people to make quicker offers at homes, whether they're in the suburbs as opposed to being in the city. And they should be selling, I guess those in the suburbs be selling faster than those that are selling in the city.
Rates for mortgages have been going down steadily over the last couple of months, and this is the first time in, I believe, like 30 years that the fixed mortgage rate has been as low as it is below 3%, and that's because they've slashed the main rate to almost zero. Because of that, we are finding that there is a surge in buyers' interest in properties, but counterbalancing that is we're still finding that even though people are getting financing at good rates, there are still issues with properties closing, either just delays caused by the pandemic, and the time frame within which no one was functioning as a real business at the beginning of the quarantine. And also it just taking a little bit longer for the I's to be dotted and the T's to be crossed.
So the smartest thing is, if you like a home and you want to buy it sight unseen, look at the virtual tour, get an inspector out there, to inspect the home, let them give you all the information on the home, the condition of the home, maybe getting someone to do the environmental just to make sure that everything looks good and the home isn't affected in any negative way, and make an offer and benefit from the low interest rates that are available today, because we probably won't be seeing them again.
Yeah, and some sellers are even saying, in the terms of accepting offers, must have an inspection prior to submitting offer. So they want the buyer to go spend, say, $450 and get an inspection done before even submitting the offer, because what can regularly happen is someone puts the property on the market, it's a hot commodity, and they have loads of interest, they choose a buyer, get it under contract, so they take it off, as an active listing, put it pending, and then it takes 10 to 15 days for the inspection period. And suddenly there might be an issue, for example, and then the contract gets cancelled, the buyer gets their deposit back, and the seller has to put their property back on the market. But now you're 2 weeks down the line, and it's no longer a hot commodity. It's just got some interest, but not the same amount. So in order to thwart that, sellers are saying, do an inspection before submitting your offer.
Gotcha. Well, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Or anything else you want to say?
I was just going to say that virtual touring tools, have been heavily invested in by local MLSs. I don't believe that they're being used as much as now as at the beginning of the quarantine, but virtual tours are still getting quite a lot of clicks on consumer sites, so consumers are wanting to take a virtual tour before physically arranging a tour. And sellers are now requesting that as few people accompany a buyer as possible to a viewing. So they want the main buyer, say husband and wife, no in-laws and kids coming with them. They want everyone to wear a mask.
Take their own mask, take their own hand sanitizers with them.
Exactly.
Don't ask for it when you arrive.
Touch as little as possible when they're in the building. If they're going to discuss the property, discuss it outside, not within the property. And they generally, buyers and sellers are just being very careful and cautious. As few people going to viewings as possible, as few people in your house as possible, and using tools such as virtual tours, inspectors, appraisals, using all those other things to make sure that you physically do as little as possible that can put you in harm's way. But still get to the end of getting a closing.
Some great advice. Well, thank you for joining us today. We hope you found this insightful. And if you're if you're in the market for making an offer on a home, go check out it online, go see the condition of the home. And if you're wanting to make an offer using an agent or not, use the inspector for what they're meant for, to see what they unearth, if anything, and hopefully you get the home that you want to buy. So take the benefit of these low interest rates. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.